And what we would call that in psychology is learned helplessness. And oh, it's such a terrible mindset. And if you get nothing else out of our conversation, not you specifically, but everybody, and even as I say it, I need to hear this.
Yeah.
I need to hear myself say it again. Learned helplessness is the absolute worst psychology you can ever have. And essentially, it's what's the point? It's impossible. And we talk about it again in my book, and we actually tell the story about how psychologists discovered this concept. And I'll tell you about the experiment, frankly, because I don't want you to be the subject in this experiment. So what they did is they would put a dog. It's terrible, by the way. I love dogs. Put it in a cage, and these terrible psychologists would electrify the bottom of the cage so that it was uncomfortable, it was painful. It's like hitting an electric fence. And the dog, what do you think the dog would do? I mean, it's like, it's barking, it's jumping, it's running to every spot in the cage. It's trying to escape this pain. And then eventually it realizes, escape's impossible. There's nothing I can do. And then it does what evolution would suggest is in your best interest. And that is for you to conserve energy, lay down, and just take it. Okay. So they trained these dogs. They put them in a situation where they were utterly helpless and escape was impossible. And they learned this mindset, I'm helpless. And so then they just engaged in the behavior you should engage in if you're helpless. It's called the freeze response. And this is what animals do. So if you're a gazelle, you get taken down by a tiger, a lion, whatever. And once you realize that death is inevitable, you'll see videos of this. They're terrible, but the animal might even start eating their hindquarters, and the animal's just sitting there. It stopped squirming, it stopped screaming, and basically it has all this like anti-pain, body chemicals that are being released that just sort of let it suffer and take it, without maximum levels of pain. Okay, so now the interest, and by the way, I'll say this too. If you grew up poor as a child, I mean, you're pretty much helpless. And, escape is impossible for you. What are you going to do? You're 8. I mean, you're going to go get a job and you're going to go, get secure housing for your family and put food on the table. No, you're helpless. Okay. So a lot of people grow up in that situation, and that can happen financially in other areas too. This is the problem. They then took that same experiment, and this time they divided the cage in half, and they put a little barrier in the middle. Half the cage was electrocuted. On the other half of the cage, if the dog just jumped over the little barrier, boom, no electric shock. So quite literally, you can see it from the outside. It's like all the dog has to do, step over this, right over there, no pain. The dogs who were in that condition before where they were helpless, oh, here's the shock. I'm just going to lay down and take it. They didn't even try to escape. And so that learned helplessness, now, no big surprise here, it's associated with terrible outcomes in your life. And when you see somebody like me, or even a friend or a successful friend, they'll be looking at you in this learned helplessness thing where you're saying, hey, look, the economy's this, it's impossible to do that because of all these reasons, blah, blah, blah. A successful person who's seeing the exact same thing will be like, dude, what are you talking about? like escape is right there. Like you just read a book or two. Just get this app. Just start tracking your money. Just start saving and investing. Oh, yeah. So maybe you got to wait 10 years longer to buy a house than your parents did. Live at your parents' house. That's a great idea. Are you saving and investing your money? No, you're not. You have the best opportunity to become wealthy by living at your parents' house. Do you know what the number one expense is for people? It's rent. It's mortgage. You could be a massive multimillionaire by living at your parents' house for 10 years and investing what you would have paid for rent. But that requires a different mindset. If you have a learned helplessness mindset, you're just going to spend all your money. You're not going to engage any of the behaviors. Then you're going to wake up when you're 50 going, oh gosh, I should have done that when I was younger.